Do you think aging sucks? Or do we just suck at aging? Hello and welcome to Your Second Prime, the podcast dedicated to disrupting our current views about getting older. Join me, Gretchen Leonard. I'm a dietitian and a wellness expert. I am passionate about the intricate relationship between our mindset, our microbiome, and neuroscience, and how we can harness the power of our inconvenient dreams to age more successfully. Let's start a revolution and embrace enlightened aging. And no, aging doesn't have to suck. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome Nancy Eaton, you beautiful woman from Inspired Living. You inspire me. I'm thrilled to have you here for a number of reasons. So thank you for joining Your Second Prime podcast. And in my home, which is so fun to have you here because you also helped me organize my home, and you're an organizational consultant and a woman in her second prime, ready for her third prime. We've already talked about that, but I would just like to welcome you to the podcast. I can't wait to have an enlightened conversation, hopefully also inspiring. And let's start with introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about what got you here and what you do and how you found this work.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me in your home. This is an extraordinarily beautiful place. This is one of my favorite homes, and I've been in hundreds of homes. And this is like, being here is like being in a special spot in the world. Everything is unique. It's so you. It's such a reflection of you. So it's such a pleasure to be here always. And, thank you for letting me talk about myself.
Oh, I'm so excited to hear about you. Yeah.
Really share what it is I do and what difference it makes in the world. It's really a pleasure. So thank you for having me here. And, I'm a Midwesterner girl. I grew up in the Midwest, small town, Missouri, and made my way to the coast with my husband. And I've been in the automobile business for, 22 years. And after that, I kind of took a break, and like soul search, like what am I doing? Who am I?
How old were you during that soul searching time?
Oh, wow. I think I was 48, maybe.
Okay.
Kind of gets blurry there.
Right. Well, you were a baby second primer. You were a baby. You were just stepping into your second prime. You have children, yes?
I do. I have two kids, a beautiful daughter who lives in Dallas with my grandson and my son-in-law. And then my son who just moved away, he lives in San Juan Island. So none of them are here where we live, which is kind of sad. And that's part of the third prime conversation. Yeah. But I have my mom here, which is great. That's a real blessing to me. And now I forgot my original question. You asked me more about myself.
Well, more about you. Okay, so in your sort of late 40s, you were like soul searching.
Yeah. I was really looking for what would, who I was, like what I was committed to, what I was up to in the world, and what impression I was going to leave after I'm gone. And so I was very into working out, super fit, and that was really fun. And I have a NASM personal coaching certification. I went to interior design school for a while. And then I really came upon something that spoke to me. And it was Marie Kondo's conversation about tidying up the difference it makes in people's lives. And I went online. I was like, wow, people do this for a living? This is really interesting. And the more I researched, I found out she does a course in which you learn how to be a consultant. I signed up, and it was very exciting for me because she does these all around the world. She's from Japan, but this is a worldwide conversation. It wasn't just my, little bitty Southern California conversation, but a worldwide conversation. People were entertaining what it was to tidy up their home and their space. And these people that came together, there were 100 people in LA, beautiful country club. And the moment I walked in, I met somebody from South Africa, Egypt, Afghanistan, I think. I don't know. It was just like this wide range of women, interests, locations, and it was dynamic. And they all had one common thread. They loved to put things in order, and they loved the process of it all. So I was there, and I passed my certification, and then you go on to there's different levels of organizational certifications, and as you get more experience, the more you move up in levels. So at this point, I am a master KonMari consultant with all the experience I've had with people in their homes, and I really found this is something that transforms people's lives. Tell you the truth, I've been in the transformational conversation for probably 40 years through Landmark Education. They do courses about, being and different distinctions. And I found that this course allowed people to interact with what they own in that manner and really come out the other side of it transformed in their relationship to what they own, how they run their house and their lives. So that's kind of it.
That's fabulous. So you took the course, you educated yourself, you met people from around the globe. Mm-hmm. Where did your need for order, I happen to know the answer to this, but where did your need for order start?
Right. We talked before. My dad, God bless him, he was in the Navy and he was an engineer. Being an engineer in itself.
Was he ever in a submarine? I just feel like he had everything in every little
He was on one of those ships.
Yeah, just you have to live in just like the tiniest little spaces and make it work. Right.
Those little bunks.
Yes.
And there's like this, and you slide in. But yeah, that was him, and he was in the Korean War. He traveled the world. It was actually an incredible opportunity for him to travel the world. And I'll tell you a story later about one of his travels and the impact from this last week. But his way of being really was ingrained in who I am.
Did he run a tight ship?
He did. It was too tight for my mom. So.
He ran a tight ship, and now Nancy's running around making everyone ship shape. No, I promise I won't do any more puns.
I'll get on some rough waters there.
Oh dear, you can see. And then we're in our blue and beige, which is hilarious because neither of us spoke about what we were going to wear today. It's not nice,
so natural.
It's a little rainy out, so we were like getting cozy. But you didn't know we were going to be on camera, so
yeah, thank you, and welcome everybody to my unplanned look.
Unplanned, it's perfect. It's perfect. So when you decided to start your business, how long has your business been going?
6 years.
6 years. Were you one of the first in the area, or were there other people doing it? Like, did you feel like a trailblazer, or were you feeling like, oh, it's established and I have there's an understanding of the work?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Okay. I think you just did it.
I think there were organizers for a long time. NAPO is another organization that trains people in organizing.
To take naps.
Yeah, National Organization of Professional Organizers. They're incredible, and they have been around for a long time and have some serious membership. So I don't think it was the first thing in the area, but in Orange County, I searched. I think there was one other consultant here for KonMari, which I believe is a kind of a different level of organizing, a different flavor in the way that you are interacting with your client.
Okay.
But I can't be sure because I never was with a NAPO person or another certification type process. So I'm thinking because who Marie is and her
philosophy. I read her book right when it came out, and I have a bone to pick with her because I over Marie Kondo'd, and there was a few pieces that I should have kept that I didn't. And so I was like, ooh, you can cut a little too deep. There were some things that I'm like, oof, I regret that. But then when you came into my life, I felt prepared to, let go of things and thank it for its service. So you want to give people just an idea of what, how you approach the work and when you come into somebody's home, are there difficulties? Do you find that energy, it blocks their energy? Like, can we just start from the top? Like when you first meet a client really quickly, like what that's like?
Well, first of all, when somebody's reaching out to talk to a professional organizer, there's something that's disorganized, and they're seeking some support and some help to get organized. So of course there's something going on, or maybe they just really like to find a process for themselves, or maybe they're changing. Maybe there's
or they moved.
a divorce or a death, or in a life event that has changed things. And sometimes it's easy as your kids going off to college, and now you've got kind of a new relationship with your husband, and you want to like formulate that on a new path. But when I talk to somebody on the phone, I kind of find out what area they're looking at, and they want to get organized, and ask them pointed questions about what they really want. And then when I get to a person's home, they're so excited, they want to show you everything. So I usually walk through the whole house with them, even if it's just one area, because quite frankly we usually end up going to other areas. So
that happened here. I started with my closet and ended up with the whole house. So
the whole house.
It was the most lovely experience, and I'll tell you my transformation after we get to it. But so keep going, please.
So I'm just like really finding out what their pain points are, like what's not working. And sometimes it's a physical space. Sometimes we have to do some alterations, new shelves, or a new cabinet, or there's something like that happens that's missing that would make a dramatic impact for them. But most of the time it's having too much stuff. Everybody in America has too much stuff. We, you see it, you buy it, you bring it home, and you never get rid of what you have already. And things pile up. And so we have just like way too much things.
Way too much
stuff.
stuff.
What's the opportunity usually is for people is to declutter. And that's Marie Kondo's thing. Let's if something's not serving you, you don't love it, it's time to let it go. There's all kinds of conversations around that. So we find people that have too much stuff. We get it all out, as you know.
Yes.
It all comes out on our first visit. We really come in and dig through what's in the back of the drawer you haven't seen in 10 years.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I can imagine that it's like excavating someone's life. Do you get stories? Do you get emotional? Do people become emotional?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I suppose it depends on the transition, right? If it was a divorce, then there's maybe people are gleefully throwing things out the door.
That's not much.
Or
but I have done divorce projects, and it actually was fantastic. I was so happy to be in this project because they had decided to split, and anything that was his went into a certain area, and she was very respectful, and so was he. And he came at one point and was so grateful to have somebody help him and move things to where he was going and she was at. It was a beautiful process, and I think all divorced people might need us, because it just helps them remove one step from the person that they're splitting with. Do you know? Puts a little barrier that helps them move forward really quick. Yeah. It was. I thought it was a great idea, so I fully went into that.
People, if you're planning out a divorce, Nancy can also help you with that sort of like decoupling of things, which I love.
Decoupling,
the
that's
decoupling
a great way to say it.
Of things, and sort of like unweaving the braid of
what's yours, what's mine, what's ours,
possession. And possession has emotion to it. So clutter and energy. Let's talk about that. So you mentioned decluttering and getting rid of a lot of stuff. What happens when you've opened up a space and all of a sudden there's more room for energy to flow? Like, do you have I have a lot of woo-woo in me, so I love it. But do you have some theory on how energy moves around someone's home once you've taken some things out?
Well, as you can imagine, clutter is absorbing your energy every day. When you get home from work and you put all your stuff down and you open the junk drawer and it is a mess, there's another energy.
So what happens to you? Tell. I mean, you're
tired.
You get tired.
You don't want to do anything that you thought you were going to accomplish that night. You're not in relationship with your husband.
It's a zapper.
You're upset.
Yeah.
You get upset and you go to bed. You can't sleep well. There's like so many different things that happen just on the way when you come home and open a few drawers and everything's a mess. And there's too much stuff and you don't have space for, the books you just brought home or your purse. You don't know where to put it. It's just, there's so many more decisions to make in your world that you end up making those decisions and not doing what's important to you or what you're committed to or what makes your world light up. You're now managing all the, crap in your life.
Right.
It's like you are giving your life to the stuff, not to what makes your world go round or what makes your whole life open up. And that is why I do what I do. I create space. People like declutter. I hate to say get rid of. Declutter, donate, reuse wherever it's going, but you're left with what you love. And when you open that drawer, oh my gosh, you're like, you don't have to think about all the pencils that are broken or the pens that don't work or the markers that are dry. You're like going to that place where you're going to read that book you thought would transform your life, or you're going to, call that person in your life that you haven't spoken to for 10 years. Whatever it is, there's an opportunity. Yeah. And now it's like so present. It's so right there that you take action.
Yeah.
And you're not bogged down in all the stuff and have you ever opened a technology drawer, like all those
the cords.
The cords.
The
The cords from 10 years ago, they don't even fit your phone anymore.
Yes.
Or your iPad or whatever it is.
You just may need it. You think you may need it.
What if I have that thing and I need to plug it in?
Right.
It's like so crazy.
You'll get another one.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you will never find that thing anyway.
No, what I'm saying is if you actually needed that cord, you'd find you would be able to get the cord.
Exactly.
Because I had a hard time with cords, I will say. Cords and adapters and things like that. So
one of the things we do with those cords in my world is that we have a technology area. Everything's in the same place, and it gets put back to that place. So you're not always wondering, where's the charger for the It's always in that place.
Well, let's talk about process. So in Marie Kondo's description in her book that I had read, and you please correct me, is that you organize by category and not room, because what we tend to do, if I understand this correctly, is that we have the same like little rat holes in every room so let's use technology.
You got technology in your closet, you got it in your kitchen, you got it in your office, you got it in your bedroom. It's probably in one of the sofas somewhere. No, not in this house. But
not anymore.
Yeah. So every room has some little hole in it. And you're right. So doing a category sort is what she recommends. And a lot of people might be looking for the KonMari method. If you have a professional organizer, you're probably in better hands. You don't have to follow it step by step. And some of my clients do. For instance, we started in your closet, right? And she starts in the closet because there's so many decisions to make. There's so many choices that it really develops this muscle for people to choose wisely and choose, with velocity.
Be discerning. Oh, and you said velocity. Let me tell you, she really gets you going, right? There is no slowing down. It's like, do you love this? I don't know. Well, then
that's a good sign.
That's a good sign of what?
Yeah. If it has a tag on it.
Yeah. Ambivalence maybe, or maybe I'll wear this when, but keep going. Yes, I love this.
Yeah, so, really starting with clothing, going to books, and, she just goes down this whole path of sections. And I think it's really useful for somebody doing this on their own to conquer things that way. And she's got shows that will show you how to do it. And she's got the book. It's an easy process to go to, I think, for people.
The thing I loved about the work that you brought to our home was I always wanted to cook. So sorting out the closet was great. It just made it more efficient and tidy, and I loved that. And I think I was pretty ruthless. I was like, yeah, I'm done and happy to sell things, and I didn't feel emotionally tied to too much. Where my big pain point is the pantry and the kitchen and the kitchen gadgets. Right. I had a lot of that. And my goal was to be efficient in the kitchen and to cook more and to be willing to cook more, because I find cooking to be hard. Not hard in that it's difficult, but hard in the prep, having the stuff. Like, oh, I like this recipe. Oh, I don't have any of that. Oh, shoot. Well, I don't have
do
that.
I have it? And then you buy it and you have 3 of them.
And I have 3 of them. And, they were from 2022.
Oh, yeah. Right.
You can't, there might be like worms in that quinoa. Don't make that salad that you just decided you wanted to make. So having the pantry, kitchen clean out to me was like the skies opened up, and I now feel more confident in the kitchen. I love where everything is. It feels very efficient. So I have to say that has been just my most favorite thing.
I love that. And I love what you said, confidence. And I think that's one of the benefits of getting organized is having confidence to have people into your home.
Yeah.
And creating a community because you are confident. You don't have to wonder if you got the right stuff or where's the serving things or do you have this or that? You know.
Yes.
You know what you have. And you're not afraid to open the drawers, you know?
Right. Well, and I think I told you, I felt like I was rather organized.
Yes.
And then after you, I was like, oh, I wasn't as organized as I thought. Oh, maybe I needed to be a little bit more humble. The other thing is that I grew up, I'm a kid of the 80s. And when I was little, I watched the Jetsons. And I always wanted to be... Is Judy the daughter or the wife or whomever it was that got on the conveyor belt and then her dress came over her head.
That was so cute.
And she had Rosie and then her makeup was sprayed on and she was ready to do things. And I love that. I was like, I just want to be a Jetson. I just want to get on my conveyor belt, have my clothes come on over my head, spray my makeup on,
that sounds fun.
And then you're ready to go. And this is as close to that feeling as I've ever been able to have. So thank you for making me feel like a Jetson.
And confident.
And confident. And more than that, efficient. Like nothing is more annoying than looking for something and knowing you have it, not knowing where it is and searching. And here you are 10 minutes later still looking for that one thing. So I feel that the emotional... stress of having clutter has been eliminated to a certain degree. Like I have fallen back, I have to say, in some old ways. I'm like, oops, I might need a Nancy day and
we do maintenance. So, people will fall out and then we come and straighten them up and they get back.
But don't let it go too far. So, so I don't know if anyone remembers doing this, but when I was in college and I had to study, the first thing I would do is clean my desk.
Right.
And
me too.
So explain that so people can understand and maybe recognize themselves right now and think, oh, the big project I'm working on has been delayed. And this is a form of procrastination. Yes. And then it comes into the emotional relationship with resistance and how stuff is the excuse to not do things and how this whole...
It keeps you small. In my conversation, I would say it keeps you small because you're working on the little things and you don't get to your big things, your big commitments in life, the things that you want to leave as your trademark in the world.
Oh,
I know.
I think that's great.
We had a nice desk. That's what they'll put on our grave. Our desk was sorted.
At the very end of the day.
Whatever.
Right before the exam, our desk was sorted. So what would you say to people that are thinking, I don't necessarily need an organizer, but I would like to embody this type of transformational change with stuff?
I would get a partner, I think, because you need a committed listener to somebody to really, when you say, I'm going to do X by this time, that they call you on it. And have you complete your task that you really said you committed to.
Maybe you can trade. Like if you don't have a Nancy Eaton in your life and this is, not what you have in your future.
It has to be the right person though. Don't get a lay down person.
You need somebody who's like, you've never worn that and you need to donate it because it is going to make someone else light up, right?
It's not your color.
Yeah.
It's not your style. That was when you were 10. Now you're 35.
Right.
Whatever the word needs to be for you to.
It's not your color. It's not your style. Not your size. It's not your size either. Yeah.
Right. I think having a committed partner would be my first thing to tell them to do, and maybe reading Marie's book, and having a process that they're going to follow. And I think that would be a great place to start. And start small. Start with, a section, you can accomplish something, which is, that is kind of hard to say for me as an organizer, because as you know, we did your entertaining area, your gift area, your kitchen, your pantry, all in one swoop, because it all interacts with one another. So, and people always will say to me, I want to start in the garage. I'm like, no, you don't. It's where everything ends up that you are resisting or that you're trying to hang on to. Everything can kind of hang up there and get pushed to that site. But things are interconnected, especially in the entertaining and kitchen area and dining. So it's hard to pick a particular thing. But maybe it's your pots and pans. Maybe
Right.
they're got Teflon on them and they're scraped.
Oh gosh,
You know,
that actually reminds me. I need new pots and pans. But I was going to ask what before. Okay, so we have clutter, we have things. What relationship with purchasing would you like people to think of? You know, because before it comes home, is there something that keeps you from overbuying? I mean, there are so many lovely things out there. There's so many. I mean, it's so easy. You could scroll Instagram, fill your home, and
Right.
and really just end up over consuming. What is your message on consumption?
I believe in an organized home, there is a mindfulness beyond mindfulness. It is thoughtful purchasing comes into play. I just worked with a client who had, I swear, I bought 1,500 hangers, ladies. It was a lot, and she had a lot. She loved everything. She was a collector of clothes, and she loved beautiful. It was extraordinary. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing. She said to me after we were done, "I'm not going to shop for a year. This is enough. I'm going to be letting go more." And this mindfulness comes into play. So you're not out there looking for the next thing. People are looking to purchase to fill a hole of happiness. And that thing's going to make them happy or make them look better or get to that party and everybody's going to love them. It's a fruitless path. If you walk into the party and you're confident and you know who you are and you're committed to something bigger than your junk drawer, people are attracted to that, not the thing you're going to buy. Wear something you already have. Emit that confidence level, that level of transformation that people can just be attracted to. It's like it's amazing.
Yeah, the inner light doesn't come from your closet. You can't.
Well, I don't know. There's a
you just dress up your inner light, but that comes from within, right?
It does.
So,
it does. It really does.
And you touched on something so pivotal to your second prime and to sort of the process of becoming in your second prime, and that is purpose.
Yes.
And really what you bring is what you stand for and who you are and what you care about. And that is something that I'd like to know how you are connecting. Like, how did you connect with your purpose? Yes, you liked order, but what's the bigger why? Was it, I like helping people. I like knowing I make a difference. I like knowing that I'm contributing. I like supporting others. Like what is the...
I think it's all of that, Gretchen. And I think it's, I have been very involved in organization in Orange County that's nationwide. It's called CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates. I have spent a ton of time just speaking about them, raising money for them, doing whatever I can, and actually being an advocate myself. I see the difference it makes in the world, but I see the difference it makes for me to be giving and to be doing something in the world that makes a difference. And when I connected to the role of professional organizer, it was about creating the space for people. This is like the end of the road, but like creating the space for people to have that commitment show up and use their money for good and use their time and their effort and their smarts in a way that makes a difference. And it doesn't just make a difference for the world, it makes a difference for you and who you are.
And clutter is a barrier to that.
It is, because you're dealing with that. You're not dealing with something big.
Yeah. It's so profound.
Personal.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree. Even the small change of having an organized kitchen sounds silly in that it has made me more efficient, as I said, more confident, really just not bottlenecking throughout the day, which is an annoyance. And I can focus on the bigger things that I really love.
You know, one of the bigger things for you is your family.
Yes.
Your son and your husband, and taking care of them and providing something that's nutritious and makes them feel better and be better people. And that's what one of your commitments
and
are.
Lord knows.
And all the clutter.
We got to get good ingredients in those people.
Yeah. So I was thinking about a lady that I worked with, and she's 5 blocks from here. And her whole house, I did the entire house, and it's her and her son. And she goes, Nancy, I'm just so bogged down. I just can't move anymore.
Mm.
And she's a single mom. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And by the time we were done, everything in the house was organized. Everything had a place. You know, everything was beautiful. I mean, I also leave things very beautiful,
Yes,
not only
you
organized,
do.
but that's
Yes,
a
you
superpower of
do.
mine.
That is a superpower. And that's the other thing to inspire people is that I think everyone knows scrolling through Instagram and Pinterest that organization can be beautiful and but beautiful and efficient and functional and all of that. Of course, you're very good at that. Absolutely.
So we turned this lady's house into this gold mine, right? And she quit her job, has a new job, has a new relationship. She bought a new car. I mean, all this stuff happened after we got done. It was really, really exciting. And, you know, things like that can show up.
Yeah. Well, the energy can flow throughout your house. I mean, do you do any energy clearing work with your clients?
I have got a shaman. Yes. I do.
Have you been holding back? You have a shaman?
Apparently I have. So apologize.
Is she a shaman or a shaman?
It's a he-man.
It's a he.
He's a he.
It's a he.
My shaman comes and he blesses the house. He walks through and creates this whole new energy field and blesses everything.
And does he use smudges? And so nice.
He's walking. I'm like, yeah, he's fantastic.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
well, I think that is fantastic. And
shout out to Peter Shulman.
Or a shashi. If you can, instead, maybe you can get a shashi.
Okay.
Let's find one.
Totally possible.
Any shashi out there that wants to work with Nancy, let us know. But so what has surprised you most about yourself in this entrepreneurial phase? Because I'd asked you, like, what's next? And it seems to me that you have more curiosity, more interest in the world and other things you want to do. And in your second prime, how are you feeling as far as your personal power? Like, what do you think about this time? And what would you say to listeners that are like, oh, Eaton's kind of a bummer?
Let's see what I would say where I'm at personally as a entrepreneur, business owner, personal organizer would be being able to talk to more people about what I do, talk to people about what the difference makes, be a Marie Kondo, be somebody that's in the field that influences people instead of doing the doing part. So I'm transitioning. I have a team of people that work for me, and we get the job done really well together. I love my people. But allowing them to do the doing part and being the thought leader person and be able to do more podcasts, talk about what I do, maybe write a book, get a TV show, you know, really fun stuff. I get my girls over here to do it.
Yes. You've got a crew already. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So thinking about that would be like in what I'm personally doing right now, what I'm committed to. And then I also have my third prime that we've talked about is I really love wine. I really love it's kind of in the same philosophy of organizing if you think about it. And I do a lot of personal wine cellars, organizing them. For people, and I put them all in Cellar Tracker. Men get confident what they're going to get out of the Cellar Tracker at the big party or whatever, but that's fun. But I spent some time studying wine. I'm a WSET, which is Wine Spirit Educational Trust, Level 3. I passed that test a couple years ago, and I am now enrolled in Level 4, which is a 3-year diploma program. And it's super intense. I don't even know if I'd be able to pass all the tests.
So
but why not? I'd love to learn, and I want to use it in my third prime, which is be living in a wine country and
drinking
and working in the wine industry. That would be like.
And what does that look like?
Wine industry has so many different facets.
Like,
in
what what's your dream? Job in the wine industry?
Maybe working in a tasting room, maybe working in a marketing aspect, or just like I do. Uncork for Hope is here in Newport Beach the first weekend in May. I always pour for a company or a winery called Law Estate Winery. It's from Paso Robles. Incredible wine, several 100-point wines this last offering. Anyway, they'll be down there. I always pour for them at different events.
And so Uncork for Hope, though, that sounds like it has a purpose.
It does. It has a big purpose. It's a fundraiser for children that are at risk. And so one of the people that they are donating money to is CASA, as well as several others. They always choose a new or different people every year who they're going to donate to. So I got involved with that, and that's another way to use both things that I do for good.
Right, which is really what I see as your I don't know. I see people passing through you. Like you're a bridge to another self. When you clean someone's home and organize someone's home, you're helping them sort of like cross a Rubicon of being unorganized to being organized, so that they can look up and do the big things and be efficient and accomplish more in a day. And as you said, you do a lot in a day. Why don't you give me a day in the life of Nancy, starting with the second your eyes open, and what time of day is it?
Okay. Well, I get up between 6 and 6:30. With this last week with daylight saving time, it was a little different, but I usually wake up pretty early, and I really enjoy that time of day when it's still dark out, but it's getting light, and I have my coffee, and I do some mindless thing. Sometimes it's reading the newspaper, or maybe sometimes it's looking online, or finding new organizing hacks or something like that. But I do something, and I have to set a limit. I always go, okay, I'll be done by 7, or I'll be done by 6:45. Because otherwise I could probably sit there all day, and get mesmerized. But so I just put a time limit on that. And then I'll work on my computer a little bit. And then if I'm going to be with a client, I'm usually out of the house by 7:30, 7:45. I'll go by my warehouse. I'll pick up whatever's left, whatever the little pieces are. And then I'll be at a client's house. And that's usually 8:30, 9 o'clock till 4. And my team shows up, we unload, they unload everything. We go through our whole process with them. But I try to make it home and make dinner. If I can't, my lovely husband will bring me something.
Nice. Nice.
But you know what is great? I have my husband trained to make my coffee in the morning. Every morning it's sitting there, couple. And usually the water's hot. I just have to pour and do a drip, kind of a coffee freak. So I do my pour over coffee, and it's always set up for me.
Nice. Yeah, what makes you feel the most beautiful?
Well, blue works wonders. I don't know. I always get dressed every day too. Like if I'm going to be going somewhere or not, I always put something on that I'm proud to be in, even if I'm going to the dry cleaner. Whatever it is, I think you just dress for the day. It makes me feel
that
really
feels
beautiful.
Like your dad. Yeah. That feels like your dad saying, you're always prepared. You never know when the ship may go down. Or when you'll be on a podcast and not knowing that it was filmed.
There's one thing I wanted to tell you that I did that I wanted to share with you was I was working with my mom this last week.
Oh yes, I love this story.
We were remodeling her little apartment, and it was so important. My mom's 90. She's very spry. She's very with it. She's amazing. Everybody loves Donna. I mean, she's great. So we're going through the process. We have the new carpets, we have paint, and of course we're going to reorganize everything, right? And there's always an up level, there's always an upgrade. So we're bringing everything out, we're going through it again, and I decided one of the things that would be honorary for her, she has these dishes that my dad bought for her on a boat in the Mediterranean. Somebody comes on the boat and signs you up and buys this Wedgwood. It's not like junk. It's like Wedgwood, beautiful china. And I thought it was great. I always put my name in for it. So my brothers did it. But I put them in these china containers, right? That really store it nicely and protects them. And I look over and my mom is like tearing up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whoops. I'm going to need to be the organizer now, right? And I said, Mom, what's going on? She goes, I really regret not using these more. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's part of the story of uncovering things that are really important to you, that you want to have and you want to use them. And, regrets come up of what you haven't done. So don't wait till you're 90.
Use the dishes. Like I'm nice tearing dishes. Up. Do you wish that she would have used them?
Yeah.
Did you notice that they were always?
She has, but she was just kind of really bowled over by one. I think because I was asking her about the story of where these came from and how they got here, and so they're very old. But she's she was struck by she could have done more.
Mm-hmm.
So I want everybody out there to know is you can always do more. Do it now.
Yes.
Do it now.
I would agree.
Now's the time.
Well, I would agree with you. And let me ask one thing. Were the plates this size and they look like a salad plate? And you're like, this is the regular plate?
No,
I noticed
Dad
that.
did it right. He ordered every dish there was. So
Oh.
there was the really beautiful, I think the dinner plates were a little bit smaller maybe, but see, he had every size. It was really cute. Every little bowl, everything.
As you know, I have my grandmother's stuff, and the dinner plates blew me away because they're the size of a salad plate, and the salad plate's the size of a saucer,
Right.
and that they've changed.
Those are the days.
Those are the days.
We actually got part of the china out, the beautiful mashed potato bowl and all that stuff. And she has a little cabinet that has glass doors on it. And we set up all these things, so now she can actually see them.
Oh, that's
beautiful. It really was a great week with her. I really enjoyed it, and her house looks off the charts.
Off the charts. Well, and that's just a reminder to bring out your beautiful things, use them, and get that energy flowing throughout your house.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Nancy, it's been a delight. I could talk to you all day long. I'm so grateful that you came and decluttered my life. It works better because you helped me deeply. And thank you for being an example of what your second prime looks like when you lean into what your purpose is. And I hope that all of your second prime listeners have enjoyed the time with Nancy too. How can people get in touch with you if they're interested in having you?
You can reach out on Instagram. It's at Nancy Eaton Inspired Living, or you can go to my website, nancy-eaton.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us on the journey of enlightened aging and creating the second prime of your dreams. Be sure to lead with purpose and intention and show the world that your second prime is kick-ass.